Hello mouses! Wasn't here yesterday for the news and things like that because I've been away doing a lot of ear tests. It turns out that my hearing loss is permanent. I've lost the upper range, so that's a bit annoying because that's where I talk. So I sound really funny to myself, and so do a lot of other people, but we'll have to just live with the damage that's there. But I've got to go back for more tests. They're going to run an MRI to make sure that the reason for the hearing loss is just the infection that I seem to have had for about 6 to 8 weeks and not cancer. I'm getting a bit sick of them saying, oh, we think it's probably not cancer, but we've got to do these extra tests just in case. Surely they've ruled it out now, but apparently not. So we've got to keep going with that and just make sure that's all right. But what I want to talk about today is the detention under the Terrorism Act of the partner of a Guardian journalist, a guy called David Miranda, which apparently was done under Section 7 of the Terrorism Act, and it's just ridiculous. The way that it's written is open-ended, so it gives the widest possible remit to the police to stop and detain people, which, to be honest with you, I can understand why they've wanted that. They want to make sure that whoever they need to stop can be stopped, and that part of the act does actually do that, but allows them to stop a lot more people, like this guy. Now, I'm not saying that this guy's an angel. He apparently had some documents that are material that most people would say he probably shouldn't have had, but we don't know that for certain because the documents have been destroyed and we're getting everything filtered through the news. And of course the news is coming to his defence because it's a journalist partner that has this information. He apparently got it from the journalist, and it's sensitive information that was used for the journalist's job, so of course the media is backing him. So we have no idea what's actually happened. The police aren't going to give you the information, that's for certain. The news are going to give you a filtered version of information. All you've got to know is that what you're being told is not 100% of everything that actually happened. So what can we say from what's actually happened? Well, not an awful lot. We don't know enough, but what it seems to be is that initially the Home Office was aware of what was going on, and the Home Office has put out press releases backing it. And then a little bit more came to light about what was going on. This guy has been detained for the maximum amount of time possible under the Act, which doesn't really seem like a good thing because most people are stopped and held and questioned for about an hour, perhaps 3 hours, 6 hours, if you absolutely have to go the whole distance and make sure that this person is not a threat. David Miranda was held for 9 hours, the absolute maximum they could hold him. He was not arrested. This shows a lot about what was going on. He wasn't arrested, so they've got nothing on him, but they took computer materials and things like his thumb drives and things like that, and apparently now people are saying, oh, don't look at the information that's on them. I don't know where that's coming from. I'm just hearing that off Twitter off a lot of people on the right mostly, but some on the left who are talking about the contents of the drives that were confiscated. So obviously there's something interesting on these files, on these drives. So what is it? We don't know. We probably never will know. But it seems from the information that's going about, oh, you can't look at this stuff, don't look at it, that apparently the security services can actually crack this information, which is very interesting because apparently they can't crack the information that's been sent to the Dropbox at WikiLeaks, which I found very interesting. So I'm assuming that the Guardian isn't using 128-bit encryption like WikiLeaks is. Perhaps they should. Who knows? But this is the thing. There's a lot of information that shouldn't be out there. That's fine. There's a lot of information that we don't want to go into the hands of terrorists. That's fine. No one's going to argue that terrorists should have information, especially not information about national security. But when was the Guardian aiding terrorism? Because I've never seen anything about that. Surely that would be front page news on every newspaper, except perhaps the Guardian. But that's not what happened. So the idea that you can detain this journalist's boyfriend for having information that was sent to him by a whistleblower that, you have to remember, has been allowed some defence under whistleblowing legislation of what he did. So surely this information that came from the whistleblower, that can't be the terrorist information that could be given to the terrorists. But that's the legislation that they're holding him under. And it seems very, very shaky ground. How can this be the way to do it? If you want to take him in for questioning on the grounds that he's got information that was gained illegally, which I think is the best possible set of circumstances that you could suggest that have happened, then surely that's another piece of legislation, not potentially aiding terrorism. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. And I think that's why the Home Secretary Theresa May is now distancing herself from this guy's detention. she's now saying that she was aware but she wasn't controlling it, and that it was a good idea she wasn't controlling it because we don't want to live in a state where the Home Secretary can't order someone's detention. And I fully support that. We don't want to live in a state where the police can just get word to say, detain that person. That's not right, and I agree with that. But we do live in a state where the police are actively going out and targeting and harassing journalists, apparently, and that's not good either. So I think what's going to come from this is that we need a thorough investigation into what's happening, and we need an explanation of why this piece of legislation is apparently being misused. That's the best that can come from this, because, let's face it, you're not going to get an apology from them. Okay, thank you very much for watching this rant. It is a bit of a rant. I do go off on politics a little bit sometimes, but thank you very much for watching. If you did like this, remember to click the like button, share it with your friends so that they can see what a farce has been going on in Britain this week, and do subscribe for future videos because we will be back in the future with some other information. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching the Knobmouse channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.